Okay, good morning. Let's see. I actually have something I need to get off of my screen, so hang on just a second. Let's see. Just a second. I lost sight of something. Okay, I got it. Let me go back to screen sharing here. All right, so hey, sorry for the delay on the start there. I was looking for I was doing something and then I lost sight of something I needed. Good morning. It's Tuesday, May 10th, 2016. This is Vance Williams out of the Seattle area. Looking, before I go there, I see the pound's making a bit of a move. Let's go ahead and drop down to the 5-minute and look at that supply level. Okay, so we need to move this up just a little bit to adjust for that. So we'll be watching to see if they can close above there. So let's come back. We'll leave that up. All right, so looking around the world this morning, all the talk seems to be favoring the U.S. dollar. Support has gained a little for the U.K. exiting the European Union. There was a story about how the German population, because of low interest rates at the bank, there's a trend to move into real estate, and there's a lot of rising housing prices. And so this is, got people thinking, oh, there might be a bubble there. Even Greece is back in the news. Can they reach a deal on the debt? It's kind of that story kind of emerging back again. There's nothing pending that we watch for in high impact data for the rest of the day. Overall, you could say that the conversation changed about 6 days ago. That was when the euro and pound hit range tops that were pretty high. You can look at those ranges on the daily chart. In a global banking system, the name of the game is called stability. So this makes a lot of sense that they hit pretty high marks and then things are coming back the other way. So that brings us to price. Let me take a look at that. Nope, they held it under that time. It might go the next time. All right, so let's look at, what do we look at first? Let's go to the 30-minute, look at the pound. As you can see, it's in a bit of a compressing range here, a sideways range, not a descending range like the euro right here. And you can see the pressure is to the top side here. And as we saw, I made some adjustments for the, what I like to look for is what did they do before? Here you can see they could not close price in 5 minutes above here. They could not do it here. And they could not do it here. So that's what we're watching for right now. And we'll have to look before the next 5 minutes is up. Sometimes if they feel rather strong here, they'll kind of jump out of here immediately. We could drop to the 1 minute and look for a 1 minute change, but that would be pretty aggressive. All right, so what can we say about the euro? This range is buyers bought and sellers sold. This range is just slightly tightening, this descending range. And so, might be a good time for a correction here up. We'll see. Well, again, what we'll be looking for here is a change. Now let's drop to the 5 minute here. This is the 30 that we're on. Let's drop to the 5 and see if we need to adjust those lines. Maybe only a tiny bit. I never worry about one going above. One is just an anomaly, really. And you can see this is holding. And so we're looking basically for the same thing here as well. A change on the 5 minute, a change not just on the 5 minute, but just a change period over this entire course of time in the last 24 hours. And so right now we do not have a change. Okay, going back to the pound, it's coming off that high. While they're doing that, I just want to bring your attention to, let me see where I can grab a new browser and show you guys something here. You don't have to register for this book. I don't actually have anything for sale. So when I retired about a year ago, I created this book that captured 11 years of my trading and training experience. And all you do is click on that big banner and you get the book. This is one of the most valuable books ever written on Forex trading. So if you're serious about Forex trading, get that book, read it. Let me know if you have any questions. All right, so let's go back. Nope, pound still not making a move. Euro not able to do anything just yet. So in terms of concepts, in the book, you'll notice I give you some training wheels, just some basic, shadow boxing techniques. You're not in the ring. You're working on form, and you're working on finding your swing, so to speak. I stopped teaching people how to trade a long time ago. What I do is teach you the logic, have you swing at the ball, so to speak, and then watch what you do well and watch where you need improvement. This is really the most efficient way to do it. If you just try to copy some other great batter, where he stands, where he spits and all that, you'll really struggle to become a great baseball hitter. Same thing's true with trading. You need to find out what you do well and what you need to work on. And so you'll find all of that in the book. Now, the advanced side of what I do here in terms of how you're going to see me read the market and take trades. Once you have, really got this down, all you see is buyer seller advantage. How strong is that advantage, and can I manage the risk? And it's really two things: buyer seller advantage, and how can I manage the risk? And so, how can I manage the risk often has to do with the question of, what is the strength of that advantage? But it really is just who's got the advantage? Can I enter the trade in such a way that I can manage the risk well? And managing the risk well is going to put you in a probability of winning of 70% or higher, certainly as someone who's only been trading a couple of years. And the reason for that is because if you go much below that level, even with good training, you're going to have trouble enduring the psychological effects of what happens when your win-loss ratio goes much lower. All right, so it looks like the Euro's trying first here. We've got about a minute left. Let's see if they can do it. They'll be looking a little bit at this close. I'll bump this up just a tad right there. I think we'll look for that since there is technically kind of two areas there. Let's see how much time we got left. It looks like about a couple seconds, so they didn't make it. So there we are. So now they might jump on it this time. We'll see. Pound, no. Euro, okay. So in order to determine if the buyers or sellers have an advantage, that takes a little practice and a little experience. Me, I just see, and I have a lot of experience, so I see orders. Buy and sell orders here. Buy orders drove it up to here, sell orders drove it down to here. And this is billions of dollars changing hands over a period of time, in this case, 5 minutes. Same thing here, the sellers were really strong at this level. Buyers were a little stronger, reconciling back at that original level, and then stopped them at price here. Sellers a little bit stronger, and now the buyers are pushing again. And the key thing to notice here is that if a 5-minute candle closes over this line, that will represent a real change over literally trillions of dollars changing hands over this period of time. And of course, that's the whole market, but you get the idea. So they're trying again, and they've got about, somewhere between 3 and 4 minutes left. It looks like they're going to go for it. If they start to get out here, they'll move faster, because the sellers will start to give up. It looks like you can see the sellers pressing. There's a little bit of time left here. Let's see if the pound's doing the same thing. And like I said, this is one of the things that happens is we're early in the 5-minute candle, and sometimes they just take off. Now you see the sellers are just duking it out right here with the buyers on this pound. So it's blow for blow. The buyers keep pushing it up and the sellers keep driving it back right to that line that I have. And now they're driving it just a little bit lower. Let's pop over to the Euro. Same thing, sellers are driving it right back to that line. So this ends up being a very definitive and very accurate battle line between the buyers and the sellers. Okay, so now let's see what our timing is. We're about 2 minutes and 50 seconds left, it looks like. And you can see the sellers were really strong there. Pushed it all the way back down in there on the pound. Same thing on the Euro, well back into that range. And so they're pushing a little harder now. Now, the sellers would love to see this just continue to drop. They'd be looking at, some nice little gains here of about 30 pips if they can push it near the bottom of this range. So we'll continue to watch a little bit here, how we do it on time. I think we started around 9:45 a.m. Okay, going back to the pound. So let's watch this. You'll notice I don't have any other currency pairs up here. I do recommend the Australian dollar and Kiwi dollar just for those who are new, just to add the techniques that I give you in the book, Forex Legacy. They do lend themselves to, you just going through motions and taking trades on other pairs. And I recommend those two because they're part of the US dollar scene, and that's better overall. But the best patterns, and by best patterns, I mean the most consistently repetitive patterns you're going to see on the euro dollar and pound dollar. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And they're all in the book, or at least most of them. All right, so we're coming in. Let's look at our time here. We are looking at a minute 20, maybe a minute 15 coming in here. And we're watching for these buyers to be able to move above this. Now, keep in mind here, as we move back to the 30, notice that the balance of money is to the downside on the euro. Let's see where it is on the pound. And I'm just looking at that in terms of the moving averages. The balance of money for the pound is to the top side. So there's a little bit more money weighted to the top side right now. And I'm talking about money that's invested, that's laying around to be invested in a 2 to 10 day period. That money right now is weighted to the top side. So I would prefer a pound trade here. I would prefer always to go with the weight of the money, which most people call a trend. A trend is a very, very, very loose term for what I'm talking about. I mean, trend can be so many different things. I'm talking about the weight of the money that's available for investing, because that's what a trend should really be about. Let's see here. So it's looking like we're not going to do it. So they're still trying. How much time we got left? Oh, just a couple seconds. So they're not going to do it. Let's see. They're going to do it on the pound? No, they're not. Or the euro rather? No, not going to do it. Hey, we didn't get a candle reset yet. Got one on the pound, but not on the euro. Oh, I'm on the 30 minutes. Sorry. That's why. Yep, they were able to. Now, if they do this long enough at the level, this will actually discourage the buyers who keep applying contracts and who keep getting pushed back in. And I'm not sure we're yet there at that level of discouragement. I don't think we are. You'll know when this shoots down here. But again, I don't worry about what these guys are going to do in this range. I'm only looking for some change that shows a real advantage on the part of the buyers or sellers. And the buyers aren't giving up yet on the euro. They're pushing again. And, this is kind of defined by this tiny little wedge right here. So, if we were really, splitting hairs here, you could say, well, if they close down below here, they're probably going to drop down. But, I don't tend to look at that type of stuff inside the range. Yeah, it looks like the pound traders, the buyers are giving up here a little bit. So I can hang here for another minute or two. Just remember, you guys can email me if you have a question, and then I'll address the question during the live session. You can email me. It's just my name, Vance Williams, and the domain is myself. So Vance Williams, as funny as it sounds, @myself.com. So that's the best email address right now for me. Vance at Forex Art of War ended up getting, I don't know, somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 spam a day about a year ago, and I just had to stop using it. There was no fix for it. Thank you to all you brilliant marketers out there who think emailing unwelcome emails are going to make you rich. You're kind of wrong about that. So it looks like we're not going to get that opportunity, at least not yet. Not during this session. I'll hang in here for another minute and watch this with you guys. Let's see. We'll wait for that 5-minute candle close coming up in about 2.5 minutes. Who knows? They might do it. We'll watch. Now let's talk about what you might do if they do close. Now remember, I'm more interested in the pound because the overall money available short term, and I'm saying, you know, short term is 1 to 6 or 7 days, something like that. That money that's available is basically weighted to the top side. It's the opposite with the euro. So I'm more interested in the pound. The fundamental sentiment for the pound, they're talking it down by saying that the business people in the UK, you know, are kind of starting to close the gap on their interest in leaving the European Union. It's still a pretty big gap, though. Right now, I think it's 57% are in favor of staying, so that's down from 60, something like that. So it's changed, but it's a little bit of a reach to say that, you know, they're much closer to, you know, to leaving the EU. So weight the pound that much. So that doesn't, what I'm saying is that doesn't bother me. I don't see anything, you know, that's going to spook the pound buyers. On the contrary, some might speculate, no, we're not leaving. And I'm not sure that leaving really matters that much. I think it's more an issue of how it affects the short-term stability. I mean, sure, there's some long-term money at play here, but the really long-term money, you know, will the UK be better off, you know, outside of that partnership with the Eurozone? I think many would argue that they would be. But, you know, with the trade deals and what have you, I mean, the trade deals are going to, you know, come and go, right? You want to sell your products to them and they want to sell their products to you. You know, the UK is shouldering a lot of financial responsibility to be a part of that union. So you know, I see people arguing it both ways. Does it affect the currency that much? I don't think it does, to be honest with you. But you know, you got to go with what you see, and you know, the story is generating some movement. I don't think this particular part of the story. Okay, so we're not going to get it on the euro. We're down to just a couple seconds, and there we just closed. Let's go down to nothing on the pound. So that'll wrap it up for me for Tuesday morning. We didn't get anything we're looking for, but you can continue to watch this, and if you do get a close above here, you know, for our traders, you know, they look for a move of at least, I think at least 18, a good pullback, and just make sure you can get your risk management, you know, your stop somewhere down in here, not super far, but somewhere down in here, so it's a little bit protected, and then go for a short target with good risk to reward ratio. That'll do it. You guys have a great one, and I'll look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow, which may be a little bit later. We'll see. You guys have a great one.